Everybody, it's Joe Roberts. How are you? I'm here in New York City with Master of Wine, Master Sommelier, Master of Awesome.
Oh, nice.
Doug Frost.
MA. Usually it's MF.
A man that will forget more about wine than most of us are going to know in our lifetimes.
Thanks, Jim. No, sorry. I'm sorry. I forget everything. In other words, was the idea of that.
And now we're at an event here for the 50 great wines of Portugal. These are wine. This is a list that Doug put together after tasting 700.
Something like that. 700.
About 700 wines in Portugal.
Yeah.
Hard to turn an opportunity like that down.
Rough gig.
And the last time we were together was in Portugal.
It sure was.
I think it was Vino Verde, and you were geeking out on some sparkling stuff, and we're like,
yeah,
Joe, get over here. And I freaked out because I thought like you cut open your arm or something, like trying to get some cheese.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? You got to taste this. Yeah. And I just want to say before we even get started here, this is what I admire about this man, because you're going to forget so much about wine, more than most people are going to know, and you're a geek. I love that, man. So first of all, thank you.
No, you are too, and I didn't mean that as an insult.
Thank you.
That's a good thing.
That means a lot coming from you, by the way. Now I'm going to hit you. Now I can hit him hard.
Okay.
After I've buttered him up. 50. So we just tasted with lunch. 50 through the 50 wines. We tasted the top. Your top 10.
The so-called top 10.
So-called top 10. So
I had to pick 10. So yeah, whatever.
Interestingly, so we have a sparkler. We have 5 still reds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No white wine.
We have no whites. We've got. Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah. Some incredible dessert category we call. I mean, the Ramos Pinto is one of my favorite.
It really is.
One of my
yeah,
favorites.
Ramos Pinto 20-year-old is just like benchmark. You know, for tawny port.
Fantastic wine. Interestingly, though, so we've got no Alentejo. The whites aren't there.
The reds.
Madeira.
2 Dow. 3. Yeah. Oh well.
So
okay. Let's
explain
excuse me.
yourself.
Let me provide my excuses now. One. I had like that many Madeiras. I just came back from the island of Madeira, so I think Madeira. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Madeira is like this is really important to me, and to not choose a Madeira. There's one upstairs, but to not choose one here is because I know Madeira, and it's like this is not one of the great expressions of Madeira. If you'd given me one, I'd have shown it. But you know, it is that we chose. We had a selection of about 700 different wineries and wines, I should say, from about 500 wineries or so that were all participating. And by participating, they were, this go-round, it's been done differently in different places, but this go-round it was like, it's all going to be blind. In the UK, when they've done this, people go out, they find what they want, and they pick who they want, and it's just wide open. But it's not blind. And so this thing for me was, I want this to be blind, so therefore they said, well then we have to call the wineries and say, send us what you want us to taste. So it's not you going out, it's you
You missed out, Madeira, you missed out.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I was on the island of Madeira, and I'm asking my favorite producers, yeah, I'm kind of bummed you didn't send anything. Send anything where? I'm like, to the tasting. What tasting? I'm like, yeah, you read your email. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's that. That's Madeira.
Okay.
That's the excuse on Madeira. The excuse on Alentejo is not an excuse, actually. It was a legitimate, if you will, or at least a choice, a conscious choice. Dow is important to me. Dow is what I think great red wine used to be from Portugal. Kind of got surpassed by Alentejo and Douro. And my claim here is it needs to be accorded the proper place, its proper position and all this, which is maybe the greatest wines, red wines of Portugal.
And some of these are not expensive wines in that top 10. What was of the reds in the top 10? Do you have a particular favorite?
Well, there's a bunch of really good producers in Dow, and Quinta de Roques was there. It's a great value, but there's Valadu, and there's a whole bunch of really good people there. So I chose a couple of Dow. I think that the controversy for me is that I left Alentejo out totally. That's certainly got some producers' noses out of joint, some importers' noses out of joint. Here's the thing, to me, it's like there was a lot of really good wine in Alentejo, but it's a warm region. The wines tend to be big and blousy and intense, and the alcohol's can be high, and the fruit intensity is just right up in your face. In other words, did I just describe Napa? Oops, sorry. You know, I'm kidding, but you know what I mean?
But that is the groove for some people.
Yeah, I
and
think
some
so.
of those wines are great.
Yeah, it's just, cool. It's just
so we are really looking at. We're getting through like a pinprick view into your brain, like into your
it fills up
brain.
with gloop really fast, you know.
But seriously, this is a list. This is kind of the close to my heart list, is what you're saying.
That's it.
Blind, So you didn't know it was
Right.
these dowels coming out of there, but you probably suspected.
At the end of the day, I said, yeah, but I've already ranked them in this way, so I'm gonna stay with it. Even though, oh man, yeah, there were some conversations and sleepless nights about there's no Madeira here, and there's no Alentejo, and there's no white wine. And the thing about the white wines is, I just did it based on what I thought was the most representative of the most exciting, best representative, shall I say, of the most exciting wines I can find in Portugal. There's lovely white wines upstairs, but to me, if I'd put one white wine here, it would have been, well, why this white wine? And no single white wine stood out. Whereas I could look at these examples and say, if I put these out here, I can at least show you this is what really rocked my world at this particular week in Portugal, in August of 2012.
Interesting. So we're confirming that the first flaw of any wine is to be white.
No, I love white wine. Actually,
kidding.
I drink more white wine than red wine, so
Same
maybe
here.
that's why
here.
maybe that's why the Moscato de Setúbals are here, because I put two Moscato
Fantastic.
de Setúbals in here and that's stupid, because most of the time one will do, but I love that wine that much, and one is Moscato the Blanco, and one is Moscato Rosso, which is a really unusual wine, so it has a little reddish color to it for a white wine made in a dessert style with oxidation, so it's brown. These are weird wines.
Awesome. So we got a very geeky list. Awesome.
Yeah, it is geeky. I'm sorry about that, but I'm happy with that.
Nah, we can live with it. Well, thank you, my
Chip.
man.
Thank you so
Always
much.
good to see you.
Appreciate it.
Cheers, everybody.
Back in Portugal, right? Next time?
Let's hope.
Let's do.
Cheers.